1 Prologue. You are listening at FameTV.info. Ce Lei woke up due to a bright light. Searing pain shot through her whole body as she tried to get up. She coughed out a few mouthfuls of blood, scaring the wits out of her. She slowly and painfully tore open her eyes, only to find herself laying on the ground. Ignoring the pain tearing throughout her body, she slowly forced herself to get up into a sitting position. Had she died? She looked around and was dumbfounded. Indeed, there was an old lady holding a bowl of soup staring straight at her. This obviously meant she was about to drink the soup of forgetfulness. Ce Lei jumped up and tried to recall what had happened. The last thing she remembered was going to sleep after drinking a bowl of soup from her fiancé. Thinking about it now, the bowl of soup sure tasted weird. Was it poisoned? That wasn't impossible. Ce Lei had long known that Long Mu Yuan was jealous of her talent. Although he was her fiancé, she still refused to share with him her secrets to achieving her success, but that wasn't her fault. She just went along with the flow. She didn't ask to be born so talented. Did Long Mu Yuan actually kill her just because he was jealous? Ce Lei thought about it carefully. She recalled several instances where Long Mu Yuan had said these exact words. If I can't have it, nobody can. Ce Lei heaved a sigh and rolled her eyes. How petty. She was taking her own death surprisingly well. It looked like Long Mu Yuan really did poison her out of jealousy. Thankfully, she died before she had been wed off to him, or else who knows how else she would have suffered. If Long Mu Yuan heard what she was thinking, he surely would have vomited blood. You died, and now you're saying it's a good thing. Please value your life, even if it's only a little bit. Okay. Ce Lei stretched leisurely. Where on her face was any trace of the pain she had felt earlier? A trail of blood dribbled down her chin and Ce Lei wiped it off nonchalantly. The old lady stared at her silently and speechlessly. Where was the attitude of a person who realized they had died? Was this girl sick? Ce Lei brushed off dirt from her dress, and then plopped her butt back down onto the floor again. Although it was the 24th century, people still wore clothing similar to the Chinese of the past. Technology had certainly improved by leaps and bounds, but cultivation and other martial arts are still more commonly used. Take Ce Lei as an example. She could have become a top-tier engineer with her level of intelligence, but spent her time cultivating and messing around with alchemy and such instead. Speaking of which, it was truly a pity Ce Lei had died so early. Only in her 20s and already had such outstanding talents. She certainly would have shocked the world in the future. Beast taming, pill refining, acupuncture, cultivating, weapon making, setting up arrays, cooking, playing instruments, sewing, drawing, writing, dancing, fighting, you name it, she can do it. Alas, such a pity, such a pity. Ce Lei ignored everything around her and pulled out a ring. This was a heaven ring which allowed her to store living objects inside it. From it she pulled out another heaven ring, and discarded the first one. Anybody watching would have felt their hearts bleed. Although heaven rings were not rare, they were not common either. Most people could not afford it casually, yet it was treated as trash and thrown away just like that. The ring in Ce Lei's hand looked much simpler than the previous one. Surprisingly, it gave off more of a noble and elegant aura than the previous one. This ring would be overlooked by most due to its appearance. However, it is actually a priceless treasure. It allows Ce Lei to store living objects. It is the same as having her own world inside a ring. Even if she loses it, she still has a soul contract with it, meaning as long as her soul doesn't disappear, the ring will somehow find its way back to her. This ring had saved Ce Lei's life on several occasions. She had barely escaped death by stuffing herself into the ring several times. The interior of the ring really resembles a little world of its own, with a river, forest and a few large houses divided into many different and unique areas, along with giant herb gardens. In all honesty, it resembles a simple village in the mountains. Rare herbs, plants and materials could be found everywhere. Not only that, the houses were filled to the brim with treasures collected by Ce Lei over the years. Skill manuals, rare books, pills she refined, beasts she contracted, armaments she made, and even a few houses of food and survival supplies. It was all a person needed to live happily for the rest of their lives. The ring kept everything inside fresh, and even helped improve its quality faster. A 1-year-old herb could become a 10-year-old herb within a day, and plants also grew much faster. A single stalk of any herb, no matter the condition, would produce many more, and the quality would be 3 times better than the outside. 1 day outside was the same as 10 days in the ring, so time was never a problem. And the spiritual chi inside the ring was much denser than outside, making it a great place to cultivate, refine pills or weapons, bring up beasts, and practice setting up arrays with half the effort and twice the result. All in all, the ring really was a treasure. It even helped increase her mental capacity in the outside world, allowing her to grasp concepts many times faster than even geniuses among geniuses. However, Lei only stumbled upon it in the later parts of her life. She achieved her cultivation and other skills solely by her own efforts before that. If she had the ring from the start, who knows what she could have achieved. Lei took out a talisman from the ring. It was one of the most precious treasures she kept inside the ring. It allowed her to be reborn with all her memories and her soul intact, ensuring her survival for 10 days, after which she would be on her own. However, it could only be used once, which was why she didn't take it out until now. No wonder she had been so calm and collected the whole time. Turns out she had this all along. Closing her eyes, Lei prepared herself mentally, and taking a deep breath, slowly crushed the talisman in her hand. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.